What's up, guys? So today we're going to be showing you the process of smoking the trout. It's that the big one that I caught a few days ago in the other video. So first thing you're going to want to do is fillet your trout out. I leave the skin on the one side, doesn't bother me any. The next thing you want to do is make your brine. So you're going to want to start with some warm water. Then we're going to put some salt. I don't use exact measurements, I just do it until it looks right every time. So, sorry about that. We're going to use brown sugar. Get a good amount of that in there. Give it a whisk. Go with some more sugar. I want a little darker than that. Give it a little taste if you want to. I don't like it too salty. Go with some more sugar here. That looks about right. See how dark this is here? The salt tastes about the right amount. We're gonna take some Worcestershire. Just gonna hit it with that just a little bit. You don't want too much at all. It's a pretty strong flavor. Hit it with some Old Bay seasoning. Whisk this together. Garlic, because it's good for you. Put it in everything. A couple cloves. Just like that. Get our trout. Set our trout in here. Because this trout's so big and I don't want to overfill this with water, I'll probably flip it halfway through the brining process. I usually leave it overnight, so we'll flip it halfway through. Make sure it gets all up on there, all the goodness. Alright, so this goes in the fridge overnight. And you can just take the bones out now if you wanted to, but if you start turning up the meat too much, just wait till after it's cooked, and you can just pull the meat away from them when you eat it. Now we're gonna make a glaze that I basted on a few times throughout the cooking process. Just use some sugar again, brown sugar. Then we're gonna hit it with some hoisin. Some honey. A little bit of lemon. Just a little bit. Stir this up. Oh, it smells good. Well, like a consistency you can, you know, brush on like that. We'll brush this on a few times during the cooking process. Well, we're gonna let this sit overnight, and then we'll be back with you tomorrow, and we'll fire up the smoker and go from there. Guys, so it's the next day. This is the smoker we're using here. It's got a firebox on one side and the smoke chamber is over here. This is the wood that I like to use. It's an oak. It's a mild oak though. You don't want to use that oak that has like a real sour smell to it. You see something crazy? This moss is all dried up. This wood's probably seasoned for over a year. It rained a little bit last night. That's all it took. Get this moss greening up again. We're gonna start the firebox with some charcoal. Usually start off with the charcoal, and then once it gets heated up, I just keep my heat with the oak wood. So once these haze over and we get it up to temp, I usually like to keep it around 180 or so. And we'll add our wood and we'll put the trout on the smoker. Alright guys, we got up to temp here. We got our trout on there. Just pull it out of the brine. Dry it off with some paper towel. You can put it in front of a fan for a while if you want to. We got our first piece of oak here in the firebox. Smoking up pretty good. We're on our way. Can't really give you a time that's going to take, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. But I will show you what it looks like when it's done. And we'll baste it with that glaze a few times throughout the cooking process. Alright guys, so it's been on about an hour. Came out and checked it. We're roughly where we need to be. A little bit hotter than I would like, maybe. Let's talk about different ways to control your heat. One is obviously how many coals you have and how much wood you're putting in. More coals, more wood, more heat. Secondly, you got your intake vent. You put it open and you get more air. More air is going to be more heat. You shut it, less air, less heat, usually. Thirdly is your exhaust vent up here. If it's wide open like this, it's not going to hold as much heat, but if you shut it down, it's going to hold that hot air and smoke in there longer and raise your temps in your smoke box. So right now I got this wide open and that roughly halfway shut with the amount of coals of wood I have in there to maintain this 180, 190 range here. Alright guys, see how it's starting to curl up here on the ends? And it's shiny. It's got that glaze on the top. You can call this done. Or you go longer if you want. It's all your liking, however you like your smoked fish.